I think so too, and it's also seeing the mistakes that other fighters have made. When you're growing up in the gym, you're seeing guys that spar too hard, or seeing guys that get hit too much, or seeing guys that take the wrong fights, or seeing guys that don't fight smart defensively. You know, one of the things that people forget is that Floyd went through a big transition of his own. If you go back to the early parts of his career and you watch when he was Pretty Boy Floyd, he was a much more aggressive fighter, and he would put himself...
What occurs when the richest boxer legend breaks his years-long silence on stage? Gervonta Tank and Floyd Mayweather. For decades, Davis and his protege appeared to be an unstoppable duo that would rule the sport. But in recent years...
And one of the reasons why people watch him fight is not because he's like Mike Tyson, just goes out and destroys people. They like watching him fight because they hate him. Because he talks so much shit, and he's like, look at my $1 million watch, look at my fucking jet, look at my house, look at this. He's like constantly showing you all these things that he has. Like, he'll lay out watches in a hotel bed, like, this is $1 million worth of watches. This watch goes for $2 million. And they're like, this is my small watch that I take sometimes, but when I'll show you, when I'll show up, I bring out the big boy, and it brings out this watch that's covered in diamonds. It's like $5 million. And so
their relationship has deteriorated, causing insiders and fans to speculate about what went wrong. Floyd Mayweather shook the boxing world this week when he revealed the details of his ongoing feud with Tank on the Joe Rogan Experience, and believe me, it's not just about boxing.
They getting better with these heads, man. Oh, yeah.
Power struggles and betrayal of pride, we need to start at the beginning in order to comprehend the tension between Floyd and Tank. Not just any boxer, Floyd Mayweather is a cultural icon.
One kid came up to me when he was a kid, wanted an autograph. I signed his phone for him and told him, you'll be world champion someday, and I'll be your promoter.
He has fought 50 fights without losing, and over the course of his 2-decade career, he built an empire not only with his fists, but also with his business acumen, his promotion company.
Set you off that you was like, I gotta do that.
A lot of people don't know that what Floyd do. He said.
So you feel like it was a sub, like he was subbing you, like, oh, like
he was going at me. He was going at me, and I knew for sure he was going at me. That's why I went at him. There's no reason for me to go at Floyd.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Cause I feel like y'all got, I would say love hate, but it's been like the last interview you showed them love. This week it was whatever. But is that sometimes like, you know, is it just like big bro, little bro seeing things different, or what is it to you?
No, Floyd don't never. He felt as though I'm at that point where as though I passed him, and I'm doing it at a young age. Wait, like when Floyd was 29, you'll see, bro.
Yeah.
That deal that I'm talking about.
Yeah. Oh, that's a part of
deal. He don't know about that yet, but that's bigger than his deal.
Damn. Wow.
And I'm just releasing.
This is exclusive. That's exclusive. Bigger than Floyd deal.
Yeah.
Ain't no cap, nigga. That's a lot of bread.
You'll see.
Mayweather Promotions was meant to be the boxing industry's future, providing fighters with a platform to gain recognition and financial freedom, something he once battled so hard to attain. Enter Gervonta Davis. Tank, who was born in Baltimore, was ideal for carrying on the explosive strength of the Mayweather legacy.
Has the time come, I gotta ask you this, has the time come for Tank Davis to take control of his own career and leave Mayweather Promotions?
It don't necessarily have to be leave Mayweather Promotions. It's about just becoming that man, handle your own responsibility, your own priority. So I feel as though it's my career, so I feel as though I need to be the one to control my career. You know what I mean? So, and it's time. You know what I mean? Everybody don't need to, have them training wheels on them forever. You know what I mean? It's time to, ride their own bike, whatever.
Floyd saw this potential early signing Tank and put his promotional machine behind him, creating unforgettable moments from sold-out arenas to viral highlights that dominated social media. However, like many mentor proteges, he was made a star from the moment he stepped into the ring.
My thing is, I've always been there for him from day one. We had a game plan, and my game plan was to help him become world champion and take things to that next level. And I've always been there for him. And just over the years, you can see I've always been positive, always said great things about him, always pushed him to be great. And But over the years, it's constantly going on the internet, take a shot at Floyd, take a shot at Floyd, take a shot at Floyd. Constantly be disrespectful, when all I ever been was respectful to try to help this fighter go as far as he could possibly go. That's all
By his charisma and that undeniable IT factor. Police Floyd disclosed on Joe Rogan's podcast that success wasn't only the glue that kept their partnership together, but also the wedge that ultimately drove them apart. The cracks began to emerge as Tank's
back and forth, and I really want to apologize, because a lot of times I go back and, you know, I was always on the internet, I was always the reaction, I wasn't the action, because I never, like I said before, I love my people first. Yeah. I'm never going, you know, but sometimes you can shoot at me, and I really won't say nothing, but, you know, I got to shoot back. You know, I got to teach my children and my family how to defend them.
Star Sword. Floyd explained that in the beginning, Tank really depended on him for advice on everything from fight strategy to media training. Floyd was there for Tank at every turn. But as his career took off, he started to make more self-reliance Floyd.
Floyd left Bob Arum. It's good for them to do it and become their own boss. And then if another guy does it, it's not good for the sport. He's disloyal. And what's wrong with Tank saying he want to be his own boss? And honestly, I've been there. The relationship between them two is very toxic. It's a toxic relationship. It's up and down and up and down. And I'm not going to elaborate to everything that I know, but it's a very toxic relationship. And that's why when I tweet stuff, I don't tweet often, but when I tweet, I may fire off 50 tweets in the day. And that's why when I tweeted certain things about the relationship, Tank retweeted it, because he knows. Like, I'm not just gonna say what it is. It's a very toxic relationship. It's back and forth. And I think it will serve him best to go and be his own.
He acknowledged that this change wasn't easy for him and that it was difficult to let go, implying that it may be challenging to see someone you've shaped begin to forge their own path. Tank, on the other hand, apparently felt...
I'm a giant Gervonta fan. I think that guy is so unusual. His style so unusual, and his patience.
The Leo Santa Cruz fight was really something for me, because Leo Santa Cruz is a technician, Mexican style, and the fight was very close before Tank stopped him. But he has that power that can end it.
He finds these openings, and he sees them, but he doesn't go after them right away. He waits for the right time. He's so patient. Like, when you watch the early rounds of his fights, he probably has the lowest punch count in the early round. But he also knows he's got that nuclear option, that if he can crack you, most likely he's going to take you out. He's got massive confidence.
Constrained. Although initially helpful, Floyd's hands-on style later became a source of annoyance since he sought more control over his career, which was evident in his larger-than-life demeanor during fight negotiations and public appearances. Tried to make room.
I was in the gym with him before I was, when I went to the gym with him, people don't know this, I had went to the gym with him off camera, nobody seen it. And I was kind of like begging him to spar me. And I remember I had a hurt hand at the time. I'm like, man, I don't care. I'll use one hand in there. I just want to get in there with Floyd. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I mean, he was older at the time, so he wasn't the same Floyd Mayweather. I want to say this was like a year, maybe 2 years ago. So, yeah, I've been to the gym with him before. He correct certain things. Floyd even called me, I want to say like 3 weeks ago, and, you know, showed me some new tricks. So at the end of the day, he still, you know, show a lot of love to me.
And to be fair, it worked out great for Tank Davis, who began landing agreements far larger than Floyd ever had in his peak. Floyd must be furious, because a man with his ego can't allow someone to overshadow him in the industry like that. So where did everything go wrong? Floyd told the podcast that he was deeply disappointed in Tank's handling of their disagreements.
Young fighters, he loves to embrace guys, so what was being around, talking to Floyd, like what has Floyd taught you about fighting, and has it made you a better fighter? Because he could tell me all day to do that shit he does. I couldn't do it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like what does being around a guy like Floyd do for you?
He could tell you, go run at 2 in the morning. You know, go do it when, cause 9 times out of 10, we know your opponent's sleep at that time. So go run at 2 in the morning and go give yourself a mental edge, you know, like, cause you know you out there working every night at 2 in the morning running. That's a lot of the times your opponent sleep. You know, it could be little things that'll take you to the next level. You know, that Floyd, a person like Floyd, like if he tell you that, you gonna take a lot of heave to it, and it's gonna give you a different type of motivation when you doing it. He could show you something, you know, and it could be the same thing. You know, you might not be able to do it like him, but just it coming from him, it'll give you like a different type of like feel about yourself.
Hold up. Limitless. Niggas to me got pin in it. I thought they
And that things took a more dramatic turn when the conflict became public. Floyd believes that loyalty is crucial. Tank attacked Mayweather's promotions in controversial interviews, saying the firm didn't put his interests first.
The thing I want to touch on is the Floyd situation. You know, Floyd is Floyd. That's like I say, Tank is Tank, man. But at the end of the day, you know, the man is chasing greatness. And you should be supporting that. I always tell you that. You should be supporting that, you know. It's a rocky road that we saying what's going on. Just pay attention, man. The story is going to reveal itself, you know. But again, that's how you burn bridges. Somebody said this is the true colors of a person that's coming out, man. They can't stand it, you know. Calm is I don't like using that word calm, you know, but our Lord knows. He knows. He knows. He knows.
I've dedicated my entire life to this sport, so Floyd told Rogan that it hurts to hear someone I've invested in speak negatively about me. Floyd also discussed a significant event that many people feel signaled the end of Tank's decision to depart Mayweather Promotions in early 2022.
Calvin, he been with me since I was 7. I used to sleep in Coach Calvin's house. I used to sleep at his job when he was working at a seafood restaurant in Baltimore.
When I had to train Tank, when I didn't want him to get in trouble and I wanted to make sure we was together, I used to take him to work with me. And he'd chill. Everybody know him. Everybody know him at work.
Remember Calvin used to fuss at the guys that was coming up with me, and they was in the streets a lot. He was telling them, like, you can't have 1 foot in and 1 foot out. You gotta be, like, all the way in it. Like, focus on the goal, you know, and them guys, they went left. And unfortunately, they got killed.
You weigh the odds out like daggers. Do you want him to go to jail or you want him to live? That's the whole idea, to come to the boxing gym.
If I ain't had the people I had around me, like the people that started with me and things like that, I probably would have been off the scene for a long time.
Although the split was initially presented as a professional one, it soon became apparent that it was anything but cordial. Tank's exit indicated what at the heart of their feud on the show is that it's not merely a business decision.
When you think about the fighters who are fighting now, can you give me your 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 when it comes to the lightweight? The lightweight, who you would put where?
Well, you got guys fighting between 130, 135, and 140. They stack, you know, around that area. So, I mean, as of right now,
skills that pay the bills.
Well, the two guys, well, the biggest puncher, I feel, at the 135 will probably be Gervonta Tank Davis.
Mm-hmm.
But the most skillful fighter at 135 will be hands down Shakur Stevenson.
But also a symbolic split from Floyd's shadow. If there's one thing Floyd and Tank have mastered, it's using social media to fan the flames, and Tank can't help but make fun of Floyd online. Floyd didn't hold back when he explained that the tension ultimately comes down to respect, or the lack of it. He also expressed frustration over what he believes to be Tank's failure to appreciate the platform he helped build for him.